Picture a pristine white coat stained with innocent blood. A man who charmed children with sweets one moment and dissected their bodies the next. This was no horror movie, it was the raw terror of Auschwitz, where Josef Mengele, the so-called angel of death, treated human beings like disposable lab specimens in his quest for twisted scientific glory. If tales of unbridled evil ignite your curiosity, stick around for the full unraveling of this monster's legacy. But first, hit like and subscribe right now to join our community exposing history's ugliest secrets. Your support keeps these stories alive. From privileged youth to poisoned ideologue Josef Mengele entered the world on March 16, 1911. In the sleepy Bavarian enclave of Günzburg, nestled within the fading German Empire. As the firstborn of Karl Mengele, a shrewd industrialist whose farm tools built a small fortune, young Joseph enjoyed a cocoon of comfort that shielded him from the era's grinding poverty. He pursued higher learning with fervor, immersing himself in medicine and physical anthropology across prestigious institutions. By 1935, the University of Munich bestowed upon him a doctorate in physical anthropology, followed swiftly by his state medical certification in 1936. His career trajectory sharpened in 1937, when he joined the Institute for Hereditary Biology and Racial Hygiene in Frankfurt. There, as right-hand to Dr. Ottmar von Verschuer, a trailblazing geneticist fixated on twin studies, Mengele thrived. Under Verschuer's wing, he clinched a second doctorate in 1938, delving deeper into the pseudoscience that would define his path. Though Mengele hadn't rallied for the Nazis pre-1933, his academic circles buzzed with the party's toxic brew of racial pseudobiology. He embraced the delusion that Germans formed a biologically elite breed, inherently towering over all others in intellect, strength, and morality. This venomous worldview underpinned Nazi doctrine, arming Hitler with evidence for sterilizing those with disabilities, mental frailties, or physical flaws. The 1935 Nuremberg Laws, stripping Jews, blacks, and Roma of basic rights like intermarriage, drew straight from these racist fables. Mengele enlisted in the Nazi Party and SS in 1938. Weaponizing his expertise to bolster the myth of Aryan dominance. Alongside Verschuer, he rendered verdicts on racial purity, greenlighting sterilizations or marriage bans for anyone deemed genetically suspect. Their consultations shaped life or death calls for countless Germans caught in the regime's web. On the personal front, 1939 brought marriage to Irene Schanbein, though war soon overshadowed domestic bliss. Their son, Rolf, arrived amid chaos in 1944. That same year, September 1st, Nazi forces unleashed World War II by blitzing Poland. Mengele, conscripted into the Wehrmacht, wasted no time volunteering for the Waffen-SS medical unit, the SS's elite fighting arm. Stationed in conquered Poland, he scrutinized ethnic Germans' claims to racial and physical fitness, enforcing the brutal criteria for reintegration into the Reich. June 22, 1941. Ignited Operation Barbarossa, the savage plunge into the Soviet Union. For 18 merciless months, Mengele's outfit endured hellish combat on the Eastern Front, where winter bites and relentless foes claimed countless lives. In the invasion's feverish early days, his division executed mass slaughters of Jewish villagers, erasing entire communities in a fog of ideological rage. Heroism in the eyes of his superiors came when Mengele hauled 2 comrades from an inferno-ravaged tank, earning the Iron Cross Second Class and later First, catapulting him to SAS Hauptsturm for captain rank, wounded and weary. He retreated to Germany in January 1943. While plotting his SS comeback, he rekindled ties with Verschuer, freshly installed as director of Berlin's Kaiser Wilhelm Institute for Anthropology, Human Genetics, and Eugenics, a hub for eugenics evangelism. Fate or calculation struck on May 30th, 1943. The SS dispatched Mengele to Auschwitz, the sprawling death machine in Nazi-occupied Poland. Whispers suggest he lobbied for the role, salivating over the camp's vast pool of unwilling subjects, ripe for his genetic fantasies. Auschwitz, the epicenter of extermination and experimentation from 1940 to 1945. Auschwitz devoured at least 1.3 million deportees, Jews, Roma, Poles, and others funneled from Europe's corners. Over 1.1 million met grisly ends, gassed, shot, starved, or tortured. Yet on January 27, 1945, Soviet liberators breached the gates, rescuing more than 7,000 emaciated souls, many teetering on death's edge from disease and Mengele's barbaric treatments. As one of Auschwitz's 50 physicians, he climbed to chief doctor at Birkenau by 1944, overseeing the infamous Gypsy Family Camp. Nearly 21,000 Roma men, women, children were herded there starting in 1943. Mengele orchestrated the August 2, 1944, purge, cherry-picking 2,893 for the gas chambers, their screams echoing as families shattered. Selections defined his reign of terror. Fresh transports disgorged petrified crowds onto the Birkenau ramp. Mengele, often in his immaculate uniform, played God. The strong barely were herded to forced labor's maw. The frail, the young, the old, straight to Zyklon B death. Pregnant women and mothers with infants? Instant verdicts for the chambers. His rationale chilled to the core. A Jewish infant can't thrive in a world purged of Jews, nor survive camp squalor. It's merciful to end mother and child side by side. Rumors swirled of a torrid affair with Irma Gries, the camp's venomous hyena whose cruelty rivaled his own. He severed ties when she consorted with subhuman Jewish prisoners, exposing her hypocrisy, but Mengele's deviance ran darker. Accounts depict him as a voyeur of violence, once cataloging women's terror during rapes by capos while men shivered at roll call. In infirmaries and barracks, he prowled for the broken, the injured, the feverish, the wasting. Lethal phenol shots or gas claim them, efficiency masking murder. A typhus scourge in the women's section prompted his solution: evacuate 600 Jews per barrack to the crematoria, sanitize the space, then shuffle in deloused survivors in fresh rags. He cycled this purge until the outbreak crumbled. Scarlet fever epidemics? Identical body counts. Prisoners branded him the Angel of Death for his ghostly arrivals, glove-clad and impassive. Survivor gynecologist Gisela Pearl trembled at memories. His shadow in the ward sparked pure panic. We gambled our lives on his whims. And he wielded that power without mercy. Post-war testimonies from prisoner doctors and survivors catapulted Mengele to infamy, unveiling experiments sanctioned by the SS overlords. Auschwitz wasn't just a killing ground. It was a lab for 50 doctors chasing advances in a captive hell. Mengele's edge? His obsessive ramp hunts for twins, medical staff, and the physically unique. The camp scale 1.3 million arrivals from myriad backgrounds offered unparalleled variety. Verschwer, pulling Berlin strings, likely engineered his posting to harvest specimens. Blood vials, tissue samples, preserved organs, fetal remains. Even skeletons shipped back for racial dissection. He commandeered barracks into a research fortress, conscripting inmate physicians as assistants and amassing state-of-the-art tools, including a pathology suite. His pursuits and those funneled to the Kaiser Wilhelm Institute probed how genes forged traits valid science until warped by Nazi racism. They preached races as ironclad genetic castes, inferiors like Jews and Roma doomed to degeneracy, illnesses, idiocy, even theft or promiscuity. Mixing bloodlines? A sabotage of Aryan essence. Mengele chased biochemical tags to unmask races at a glance, rationalizing agony on the unworthy as a bulwark for German supremacy. Roma and Jews topped his victim list. Over 20,000 Roma interned, hundreds of thousands of Jews arriving like clockwork. Wasting this bounty would be sinful, he confided to peers. In the Gypsy camp, he dissected Noma epidemic starvation-fueled mouth rot, but pinned it on ethnic flaws, not brutality. Prisoner docs autopsied slain children, dispatching heads and viscera to SS labs in Graz. They cracked a cure for the lethal bug, saving some kids only for Mengele to gas them anyway. Erasing loose ends, Twins and the Abyss of Atrocity twins captivated Mengele, building on Verschoor's ethical pre-war probes into hereditary ills. Consent? Irrelevant here. He corralled hundreds of pairs, Jewish and Roma, from the ramp's chaos, dwarfing any prior dataset. Teams charted every metric: heights, weights, cranial shapes. Bloodletting bordered on exsanguination. X-rays pierced relentlessly. Renata Gutman, stripped to number 70,917, faced maternal separation, then prods, scans, and jugular drains. Once bound to a slab, a blade carved her flesh. Laurent Menashe's sibling ballooned from tainted shots, her neck a pus-riddled horror. Surgeons mangled her awake in filth. The sadism peaked. Deliberate typhus dosing on one twin, then euthanasia of its match for autopsy symmetry. Blood transfusions between siblings coursed with peril. Limbs hacked off needlessly. Vera Alexander bore witness to the ultimate grotesquerie. Two Rama twins fused surgically. Spines joined in Mengele's bid for Siamese creation. Gangrene devoured them amid wails, days of delirium. Miklos Nicely, a coerced camp surgeon, etched the night Mengele dispatched 14 twins via heart phenol cold methodical. Diseased twin gone? The survivor followed, organs parceled to Berlin post-probe. Abnormality hunts yielded dwarfs, giants, the club-footed. Elizabeth Ovitz, a diminutive survivor, evoked endless torment. Paying Claude for weeks after his pokes and prods beyond words. Metrics: phlebotomy, dental extractions, radiation barrages. Chemical floods capped by execution and German forwarding. Heterochromia, eyes of clashing hues, mesmerized him for a Verschoor ally. Victims' orbs were gouged, mailed to the capital. Mengele curated a wall of pinned eyeballs. Butterflies in his macabre gallery. Children fueled the frenzy. Mengele masqueraded as benevolent guardian, segregating them in privileged barracks with extra rations and treats. Moshe Offer survived to recount. He'd arrive like a jolly relative, chocolates in hand. "No harm, little one," he'd soothe, then plunge needles or scalpels. My brother Tibi endured spinal vivisections, later skull pins. He vanished once, returned swathed in gauze, perished cradled against me. Eye-tampering collaborations injected dyes into infant and toddler sockets, spawning inflammation, sight loss, fatalities. Zala Pearl captured a post-kill ritual, Mengele, soap in hand, humming blithely as he scrubbed. Caretakers chronicled the twins' descent. Repeated arterial taps left kids shrieking, shielding veins in vain. Force prevailed. Ocular drops blistered lids, ignited orbs in fire. Alex Deckel viewed vivisection sans sedation, hearts and guts yanked from the living. Yitzhak Gannon, a 20-year-old Greek Jew, awoke gutted of a kidney, raw and reeling. Then chained to labor sans relief. Pregnancies drew his scalpel. Ruth Elias, hauled from Neusiedstadt heavy with child, birthed a golden-haired daughter only for Mengele to truss her chest, dooming the babe to famine observation. Days of the infant's mules broke Elias. A Czech medic slipped morphine mercy. Olga Leniel oversaw a supervised delivery postpartum gassing of the duo. Another time, Mengele eviscerated a womb for expected twins, flinging the lone newborn into flames for disappointing his delusion. Flight, facades, and final impunity. Soviet thunder rolled in January 1945. Mengele vanished with fleeing SS ranks, resurfacing at Gross-Rosen subcamps. War's death throes saw him in Wehrmacht garb, yielding to American captors. As a nameless POW, he walked free in August 1945, the Allies blind to his notoriety. From late 45 to spring 49, he toiled incognito on a Bavarian farm near Rosenheim, weaving family ties. U.S. hunters tipped to his Auschwitz sins. Pursued, but Mengele's kin spun tales of his demise. Derailing the chase. Exposed and endangered, he bolted in July 1949. Family wealth bankrolling his Argentine exile under alias Josef Mengele. By 1956, roots dug deep. Citizenship followed. Yet 1959 brought German extradition bids. He decamped to Paraguay. Eichmann's 1960 Buenos Aires seizure by Mossad spurred flight to Brazil, holing up near São Paulo in shadows. Rolf's 1977 pilgrimage unveiled an unbroken fanatic. No personal kills, just orders. He sneered. February 7, 1979. At 67, a stroke struck mid-swim off Bertioga. He sank, interred as Wolfgang Gerhard in São Paulo's outskirts. 34 years evaded, the angel of death cheated earthly reckoning, no courtroom, no atonement. His void endures, a siren against bigotry's blaze. Mengele's saga scorches the soul, proving ideology's poison unchecked breeds apocalypse. If this ignited your fire for truth or resolve against hatred, like this video, subscribe today, and smack that bell. Your clicks amplify these vital warnings. Comment your take. Which Holocaust tale haunts you most? Share, engage, and catch our next unfiltered history plunge.